So in last episode, we got invaded by 36 insect hives and we farmed them all for a ton of insect jelly and insect meat. We packed all that insect meat and an insect jelly into a caravan, and Frog and Rolaro are now going to hit up nearby colonies, heading down to Noka Swamp as we have a quest to deliver them 17 clubs. Meanwhile, back at base, we have a few corpses of some raiders that attacked us earlier, and we're going to raise undead on these guys. And we can look at their stats. They're not seeming like they're all that good, actually. Yeah, these undead are all pretty bad. We're just going to use them to refill Llama's mana pool, and we can consume corpse on them, and that gives us back around 20 mana, which is actually more than if you just consume corpse on them when they're dead. Like if we consume corpse on this guy, we only get back 7 mana. The cool thing about this is raise undead only costs 45 mana, and so we just raise 4 more. And let's see if these guys are any good. Yeah, none of these guys are all that good. If we consume, I think 2 of them, we get more than enough mana back to be able to cast raise undead again, which will raise 5 bodies. Consume corpse and raise undead both don't have that long of a cooldown, and so the idea here is we can constantly rotate between raise undead and consume corpse as long as we have enough corpses. And every time we do this, Llama's actually getting experience, and we're gonna start leveling up hasten undead. Undead movement and action speed increased by 5% per skill level. With one more point in that, we'll max it out, and we're getting pretty close. We'll just raise undead one more time, and we're almost there. If we just cast it one more time, even though we're not casting on any bodies, that does still give Llama XP. She just gets XP based on how much mana the spell cost. And now she's at level 15, and we have 3 out of 3 points in hasten undead. So now what we're gonna start doing is dismissing our decent undead, like Nostau has 14 melee, 11 mining, 14 crafting. He's all around just a really solid dude, but he's currently not buffed. He has undead 1, and if we dismiss Nostau and re-raise him, he now has the buff undead 4 for 20% more movement and manipulation, and that's because of Llama's new buff. She just got hasten undead. And so yeah, we're gonna rinse and repeat that on all the undead we currently have. Catton's also pretty solid with 17 melee and 12 crafting, so she's not completely useless around the base. The first rule about Undead Fight Club is you don't talk about Undead Fight Club. Essentially what we're doing right now is having these undead kill each other in this maze. These are all undead that don't really have that great of stats to help us around the base. Their main purpose is when we do get raided, we can raise them and use them as kind of a meat shield. Our caravan made it through all the tribal colonies, and as they're tribal, their stuff is kind of bad. We didn't really need anything they had to sell us, but we are going to fulfill our trade offer at Noka Swamp. For this quest, a unique deal, we had to make them 17 clubs, and they're going to give us a excellent prestige marine helmet, 2 advanced components, and 791 silver. So Frog's caravan made it down to Hotco at the plateau, and they have a couple robots. I would like to grab all the tier 4 bots, 2 crafters and 1 hauler, as I believe the hauler 4 bot is really fast, and it's going to be just hauling stuff around the base super quick if I ever want to move stuff. And the crafter 4 bots are really good at crafting. I think they have like 16 crafting, and they're also really fast, and those actually would help out quite a bit for a quest we're about to do. They're going to cost 20k though, and we only have 2k silver. We do, however, have 3,500 insect jelly from the last episode, and that's going to give us almost all we need actually. Was that 15k for the insect jelly? We also did bring along a bunch of magic dust that we've been mass producing in our main base, and we have a bunch of smoke leaf joints, 200 of them, and actually that's going to be enough. We don't even need to sell them to our psych IT. Frog's caravan made it back to base where there is an arcane items collector, and part of me does kind of regret not saving a bit more silver. Like, did we really need that hauling bot and 2 crafting bots? Because these guys have some really nice stuff. Like, they have 2 arcane tomes that we really need, Bard and Nature, which turns someone into a druid. Both these tomes are 4k each, and we only have 4,400 silver. We might, however, have enough stuff around the base that we can scrounge up to sell them. Like, they'll buy 400 more insect jelly that we had, which didn't make it on the caravan. That's 2k right there. And these advanced mechanoid chips, plus actually this luciferium, which I don't think we're going to use, the psych IT, smoke leaf joints, some magic dust, the psychic animal pulsar, and tech print healing factors, and we're actually there. That's going to be enough for both the tomes. First thing we're going to do is teach Sashiko, a girl we captured in the last episode, how to become a druid, and she can do this because she's magically gifted. Part of the reason why we wanted to make her a druid is druids get plus 25% plant work speed and harvest yield, so they're going to harvest plants quicker and get more stuff out of them. Druids also get 20% more stuff from animals like milking boomalopes, so we'll get more chem fuel from them, we'll get more wool from shearing alpacas, and she's got decent animals, 11. Not only that, druids have a bunch of nice abilities, like she can now cure diseases, and if we buff up disease knowledge, she can cure even worse diseases. She also has regenerate, which can heal people over time. Next, we're going to begin the process of being able to turn Frog into a bard, which is not going to be easy as he's not magically gifted. At the steel gem crafting table, we got to make a gem of arcane insight, and this thing's not cheap. It's 500 unrefined magicite. We have, however, been having our new and improved undead mine around the clock, and they've been getting quite a bit of unrefined magicite. Our stockpile is now up to 800. And speaking of mining, we had Cello with 3 of our undead, and actually these mega spiders and spilopedes are rideable, so we brought those along as mounts as they make us quicker on the map. We sent her mining party up to retrieve this lump of gold ore, and in that lump there was 519 of it, so we're gonna grab all of that. And there was a bit of unrefined magicite, not much, as gold ore is fairly weak. It's pretty easy to mine out. I've noticed the more tankier nodes like plasteel, which take quite a while to mine out, they end up generating a lot more unrefined magicite. But yes, our crafter bot actually made the gem, and this thing is really fast, by the way. It moves super quick at a whopping 10 movement speed. Normal colonists have like 3 to 4. Okay. We're getting raided. As we were having Frog learn this gem of arcane insight, we actually got raided. I think we'll have time for him to be able to learn it, so he's got to learn this gem, which now makes him magically gifted, and now he's got to go up here and learn this arcane tome bard. And voila, Frog is now a bard, and he only starts out with 2 abilities, entertain, which we're gonna have toggled all the way on, and with this ability, Frog will walk around the colony and try to entertain people, and that will boost their mood. Doing this will also give him XP, and we need XP towards bard training. Currently right now, he actually only starts out as an entertainer. Once he does get more XP and we rank up his bard training, we can turn him into an actual bard, and that will increase the social impact, negotiation ability, but mainly trade price improvement. And so we'll start getting really good prices from trading with other colonies. But yeah, now for the raid, we got a few pretty massive groups of tribals heading towards us, and we're gonna have MK drop an Eye of the Storm on them, and we're gonna hope this doesn't actually start activating in our base. Okay, yeah, it didn't. And this thing is hopefully gonna take these guys out completely. Okay, yeah, these guys are fleeing now. It knocked out 4 of these guys, and like Engo's actually pretty solid. He's got 12 planting and he's industrious, so he works quicker. We're currently getting raided from the east as well, so we can't make it out to capture these guys. However, Smelly is currently in the prisoner room, and we can actually have him summon these prisoners into the prisoner room. We're gonna summon Embonia first, as he's the best one. And voila, Embonia is in our room. What the heck is going on over here? What is that? What just happened? Well, these guys bombarded us with some ability, and we just lost a monkey and a guinea pig. It didn't do much damage to like this elephant or rhino though. But yeah, so Smelly easily captured Embonia, and we're gonna have him summon the rest of these 3 prisoners. It does cost 24 mana, and he's only got 41 left. Meanwhile, over here on the east, we got some sappers that are tunneling through our mountain, and we're having Llama, our lich, fly over them, and from a safe distance away, we're gonna have her drop a Fog of Torment on them. And yeah, the raiders are now getting affected by Fog of Torment. They're almost getting through though. Okay, I think we're just gonna have MK drop an Eye of the Storm on these guys, and that'll be it. So gonna, yeah. Yep, that's it for them. They're now running. She was able to drop another Eye of the Storm because we had her chug a mana pot, which you can only do so often and they're pretty expensive, but I felt like it was better to do that than potentially lose someone in combat. Goose the Gatherer is currently on fire, and we're gonna have Smelly summon him into our prisoner room, and we're gonna have Smelly stabilize him and bandage him up a bit. He has 7 hours. His leg got burned off, so it's bleeding, but 1 bandage should save that. Meanwhile, over here we got some runners, and we're gonna try to have Seal stay behind cover until they get close enough, and we're gonna have him drop a Chi Burst on these guys, which does stun. Only one of them, I guess, got stunned. Ant is actually down. We're now going to chase the rest of these guys down. Bocrisiaga got knocked out. And Whale actually got knocked out as well, who is an entertainer. Well, it actually wouldn't be that bad to get another bard. She's also got the trait Mana Well, which gives her more mana but lowers her mana regeneration. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that. I think having more mana regen is pretty much better in all situations, just because it allows people to spam abilities. But we could just keep her around the base and she could make people happy, or we could just end up selling her off. So these raiders almost got through this smooth granite, and we're actually gonna have the Beeble mine it out so we can capture them before they end up bleeding out. And Frog and MK, now is not the time to be doing it. We need you guys to help us capture people. We got 2 prisoners stacked on, oh yeah, we got 2 people stacked on top of each other. Or is that 3 people stacked on top of each other? Wait, yeah, there's 3 prisoners that are stacked on top of each other. This last guy, Human, actually is about to bleed out in 4 hours, so it's good I saw that. We got our druid down here, Sashiko, and we're gonna have her regenerate Falcon, who's gonna bleed out in 5 hours. And I'm hoping, actually, this is not gonna make him get up before we can capture him. Okay, good. I wasn't sure how quickly regenerate would heal up wounds there, but she was able to capture him in time. While that was going down, we sent out Weasel to retrieve one of the bodies, and he actually ended up getting killed. The thing about Weasel though is he is abrasive and he's misogynist, so he tends to piss people off. That's why I didn't really care about sending him out to retrieve bodies, even though the enemy was retreating in kind of that direction, so I think they just shot at him and they ended up killing him. We can raise him though as an undead. Is he good as an undead though? 14 in melee, but not really good at any other stats we need, so we'll probably just throw him in our corpse pile in this main maze area. He'll be helping out our colony in the afterlife. And evidently the rejuvenation we tossed on Falcon was not enough, by the way. Sashiko rejuvenated him and carried him back to our prisoner room, but he died. So apparently regeneration's not that strong, or I guess it doesn't stop the bleeding from someone that's already bleeding, and we haven't leveled it up or anything. But yeah, before all that chaos, we got our 3 robots activated, and Hauling Bot 3 is super quick. It doesn't look like it right now because he's walking over like a tree right there and he's walking over bodies and stuff. But once he gets on the main road, he is zooming. This is not even sped up at all. This is just normal speed. He's moving at 13.5, which is around I think 4 times quicker than a normal colonist. And yeah, he's grabbing all the bodies of the raiders and he's putting them into our maze, which by the way, Weasel is in our maze and we need to actually dismiss him. We'll re-raise him when we need him to help us defend some kind of massive raid or something. But yeah, meanwhile in our workshop area, we got our 2 crafter bots up and running, and they are cutting chunks into blocks really quickly. We got 4 stonecutter tables in here because a couple of our zombies are also making them, but they're doing it much slower. And we're gonna need a ton of those blocks to erect this massive monument. We want to build it on this hayfield over here. However, we can't place it on incompatible terrain because in the field there's some marsh. In order to drain all this marshy soil, we got a moisture pump out here. It does require power, by the way, and we have Codex out here building subsurface conduits, which are underground power lines, and they're a bit more expensive and they take a bit longer to build. But yeah, the trick with this moisture pump is it will drain out marsh from anything inside of this area of effect. And okay, Codex is on a mental break at 34% mood. Very nice. He's trying to piss off Seal. Okay, that didn't last long. Seal just dragon striked and then he was like, nope, I'm not gonna insult you, Seal. That was actually kind of funny. He didn't even get off a single insult. But yeah, Codex is in catharsis now, so his mood's fine. The idea with this moisture pump though is we're just gonna constantly keep moving it over these marshy tiles, and like there, it pretty much instantly saps out the marsh from a tile underneath it. And actually we're just gonna have a zombie come over here and do this because zombies can uninstall and reinstall stuff fairly quick enough at least. And yeah, this is quite the process, but we're gonna keep doing this until we remove a good amount of this marsh. Meanwhile, our mining caravan made it down to another lump of compacted machinery from earlier, and there was a couple manhunting sphinx there. Thankfully though, we somehow managed to take out these feral cats, and now we can mine out this compacted machinery for a ton more components. We should not need any more components after mining this out. Speaking of mining, Llama has been working on this long-range mineral scanner for quite some time now, and she's actually at 100% progress to guaranteed find on plasteel, which is pretty unlucky. Earlier on, we found the compacted machinery at like 25% or like 30, and okay, yeah, she finally found it. Our mining caravan is currently at this lump of compacted machinery, but this lump of plasteel is actually pretty close to our main base. After we're done mining out the compacted machinery, we'll have them come up here and mine out the plasteel, and we'll be able to make a lot of stuff from that. Our mining caravan mined out all the compacted machinery for around 100 components, and they're now at the compacted plasteel, and they're mining that out as well. Rolaro's good at plant cutting, so we're just having him chop down trees too, so we can bring some extra wood back home. And yeah, it ended up being 558 plasteel with actually not that much unrefined magicite, only 11, because we already had a bunch from mining out all those components. We got 121 components from that mining run earlier, and we got some wood too. We'll just grab that. As we were almost back home, Llama found another lump of compacted plasteel, and I think we're just gonna go grab that before we head home, just because it's annoying to have to reform the caravan, and our Necromancer Sella is actually on a mental breakdown anyways, so she's not gonna be doing anything around base anyways. Might as well just keep the caravan going. Well, we just drained out the swamp, and as we were placing down the monument, we got raided by a pretty massive force, and actually a lot of these guys are androids. The android strength is dependent on what version they are, and like this guy actually I think is pretty strong. He's a TX31 or TX3i, and so I think he's going to take a lot of hits to take down. Apparently these guys are sappers, but I think they have the wrong idea about where our base is, because this is just a random mountain. It has no connection to our base or really anything at all. We're going to have MK drop 2 Eye of the Storms on these guys, and it actually takes 10 seconds to cool down. And we got some Thrumbos over here that revenged, by the way. Hopefully they're going to help us fight these raiders. Actually, that wasn't all that effective of an Eye of the Storm, I don't think. Oh, I guess it hit a good amount of them, but yeah, we can have her drop another one because we put 5 out of 5 points into focus, lowers the mana cost of all abilities by 2.5% per level, and looks like we knocked out a good amount of them actually, or killed a good amount of them, knocked out Malone and Cherry. Or Cherry actually got healed or something. She just got up, but Malone's still down. And by the way, Malone is pretty solid. She's a researcher, and we actually need more researchers right now. She's got a burning passion for it, and she's a hard worker, so she works quicker. And she's also ugly, so she works a bit quicker. She does lose a little bit of beauty though, and so our other researchers are not gonna like her being in the same room as them. Meanwhile, the raiders decided to go to our main choke point, as I think we killed their main sapper guys. I think when the enemy sends sappers, only a couple of them will actually tunnel through into your base, and when you kill those guys, the rest of them just behave like normal raiders and they'll just go through your maze. We're gonna have Llama raise all these undead, and we're gonna have them try to hold the line over here and just kind of meet shield for us. We're also gonna have Llama use her move Fog of Torment, which creates a fog and causes pain to every living creature within it, but undead within the fog are healed, and we buffed it up to get 5 to 7 damage to living creatures every time it ticks, and 5 healing for undead every time it ticks. And we're starting to increase how often it ticks. Right now it's gonna tick every 1.7 seconds. We can also buff the radius and the duration. So yeah, we're gonna cast that in this area where we have our undead, and we can just have these guys go in too, and our turret just got destroyed. And okay, it looks like these guys are actually running, which I was kind of hoping we could capture some more of them. Fortunately, that's not the case. We got Nelson over here, who by the way is a Technomancer. Like Codex, he'll research much quicker, and he actually gets bonuses to shooting, although shooting's terrible. There is something we can do with this guy though. If we get an item, we can actually absorb the Technomancer and Jogger trait, which this trait's also really good, makes him move quicker. And we can give it to someone else. The item's pretty expensive though, as far as I know. But yeah, we will capture this guy. Meanwhile, our mining caravan mined out a good amount of plasteel, and we got some more unrefined magicite. Around 400 more plasteel and 100 unrefined magicite. Those guys are finally gonna head back to base with around 1k plasteel. We are gonna be loaded on plasteel now. With 200 of the plasteel we just picked up, we're gonna make an advanced medical station. And with this thing, we can make a lot of really powerful upgrades. Like we can make upgraded versions of bionic parts. And we're actually gonna upgrade a bionic leg, which does cost a bionic leg, 20 plasteel, and 4 advanced components. We've been cranking out advanced components. We've got 34 of them. And over at this bionic workbench, we had a crafter bot make a bionic leg, which did cost 80 plasteel and 6 components. Hopefully one of the crafter bots is gonna start working on that. And yeah, here we go. Crafter bot 2 is on it. It's gonna take quite a while to make this bionic leg. It requires 650 work. So we finished making the advanced bionic leg, and we're actually making a bionic arm as well. Smelly had his left radius shattered, and that's lowering his manipulation down to 50%. And apparently the radius is 2 bones in the human forearm. This really sucks because Smelly's one of our best researchers. He has 20 intellectual. So yeah, we're making him a bionic arm, and then we're going to turn it into an advanced one. But before we are able to install it, we need some more medicine. Herbal medicine is just not going to cut it on these surgeries. There's a really high chance to botch the surgery if we use herbal medicine. So we're going to go on a trade mission to pick up some medicine. Before we do go on a trade mission, however, Maka would send us a quest to make them 5 mage spells Dirt Devil. And in return, they're going to give us 2 Resurrector Mech Serums, which can be used to resurrect colonists if they do get killed. Each Dirt Devil spell does cost 88 unrefined magicite each and 40 cloth. We don't really care about the cloth. We got like 2k of it, and we also got 1200 unrefined magicite. So this will be a bit less than half for our unrefined magicite we're going to spend on this quest, but we're going to get the mech serums, and we're going to get some relation with those guys, and we might be allies with them after this quest. So we made it all the way over to Macawood, and we're going to fulfill their trade offer, which is going to make us allied now with the CDO Nation. They also have some pretty nice stuff to sell us, and we got quite a few trade goods. Like we got 2,900 alpaca wool. We have, I think, like 30 alpacas around the base, and we're just shearing them nonstop for their wool. That alpaca wool right there is worth 5k. We got a bunch of just random leathers as well. And also in that raid earlier, there was 3 thrumbos, and I didn't actually mean to skin them, but we did end up skinning them. Although now I think about it, we could actually have Krika make something legendary out of these thrumbo fur, and we could get way more of a profit from making legendary thrumbo fur clothing than just selling the thrumbo fur. So we're gonna hold on to that, but we will sell them 217 magic dusts for 13 bucks a pop, and that's gonna be worth 10k. And we brought along our legendary slate grand sculpture, and that's gonna sell for almost 2,700. The main reason why we came over here is because we needed to buy some medicine, so we're gonna buy, I don't know, like 10 of it for 200 bucks total. And we're also gonna buy some neutroamine. We can use this neutroamine to manufacture our own medicine, and we can also make mana pots out of it. From the quest reward, they also gave us this Masterwork LTEX vest, and I think we're just going to sell this off. It's not that good. It just increases psychic sensitivity by 15% and neural heat recovery rate by 0.05, but we're not using any neural spells. As far as what we're going to buy, they have this good recon power armor for 3,500, and that increases movement speed by 0.8 and global work speed by 10%, which is pretty huge. The carrying capacity and hunting stealth doesn't really matter too much. Although I guess whoever uses that can just haul more stuff around the base. We're also going to pick up this engineer power armor helmet, which increases construction speed by 10%. Our caravan's now heading home, and while they were on the road, we got a couple events, which by the way, there's a lot of dots on this map now, and for some reason I can't hide animal dots and names. I don't know if it's a mod that's making it this way, but if I go into the main menu and I do show animal names none, that should take away all the dots from the map, and that should take away all the names from the map, except for it doesn't. Like over here, we can still see all of our animal names, and it's been making the map quite cluttered. But yeah, we're getting raided by a tribal faction from the east and the southeast, and in the northeast we got a mech cluster. It's currently dormant, but we're gonna give it a rude awakening by sending an Eye of the Storm towards it. Now we want to destroy this defoliator, by the way, which we did. That's awesome. That really pissed off the mechs, and actually a lot of them are heading towards our base already. We maybe jumped the gun a little bit on that one, although it looks like half the mechs are fighting these raiders now. Either way, we had Llama raise some undead, and the goal of these things is just to kind of stall out, and hopefully we can defend until the tribal raiders get here, and they might be able to help us out. Meanwhile, over here, it looks like the raiders are actually winning in numbers. There is a bunch of centipedes left up still. I see 4 up. And I don't know if the raiders can be able to take those. They're tribal raiders. As you can see, it's really laggy too. There's just so many people on the map right now doing stuff like shooting and just performing actions. So I guess that's why. In our main base, I'm gonna have Llama drop a Fog of Torment on these mechs. And I'm not sure it's gonna actually hurt them or not. Yeah, these mechs seem to be immune to Fog of Torment. It only affects living creatures and undead, and it's gonna heal our undead over time. Meanwhile, over here, it looks like the tribespeople are winning. It looks like tribespeople greater than Mechanoid cluster. I am kind of keeping an eye out for any down raiders to see if they're any good or not. This guy actually over here, Gorar, is pretty good. He's physically adept, so we can turn him into some kind of fighter class, and he's also a jogger, so he moves quicker. He's got a minor passion for melee too, which is kind of important for a physically adept class, or they gotta have some kind of passion for shooting, because you can turn him into a melee or a range class. He also does have a burning passion for intellectual too, so that's another researcher. We're gonna have Smelly beam him into our prisoner room, and he's gonna stabilize him. He's got 9 hours to live, so he should be fine. Meanwhile, over here at our main choke point, it looks like these mechs are getting surrounded. We got them kind of blocked in, and yeah, these mechanoids look like they're pretty screwed. And yeah, wait, are they running? Yeah, they're trying to tunnel out of there. We're gonna have Llama fly over here and drop a fog on these guys, and I'm hoping the fog's gonna be able to knock some of them out. And yeah, we knocked out Minoka, who's magically gifted, by the way. Her passions aren't that good though. We'll capture her anyways. We captured another dude over here too, and he wasn't all that good either. So we got a few prisoner rooms set up. We got Nelson over here from Minurba. Every one of our other prisoners though is from the Grey Crag Union. These guys keep raiding us. And then we got a few more rooms just full of them, and we really have nothing to do with them, as most of them just don't have stats and stuff that we need anymore. Over here though, at our comms console, we can somehow call them, even though they are a tribal faction. I don't know how they have a comms console or any electricity set up. Regardless though, with the prisoner ransom mod, we can demand ransom for prisoners. This guy Bokrisiaga is going to give us a huge sum, as he is sanguine and he's got decent passions for stuff. They're going to give us 1620 for this guy, and actually we could raise our demand, but it lowers the chance of it being successful. I think we'll just take the 100%. Maybe we'll take like a 94, and we'll take the 1700 silver. And yeah, the faction delivered their ransom. We're gonna do this with most of the rest of their prisoners. There's just 3 that we want to keep. 94% failed. I knew I should just take the full amount. It was only going to give us like 70 silver. Apparently they're going to try to free the prisoner. I don't know what that means. And all right, I don't know how they're sending these drop pods full of silver, but we just got a really good amount of silver for doing that. And actually a lot of the silver that's in this area over here was also some of the silver we got from ransoming. Our caravan made it home, and we gave this good recon power armor to our Technomancer Codex, who's good at building. We also gave him the engineer power armor helmet, which is going to help his construction speed. With the Thrumbuffer we picked up from earlier, we're having him make a Thrumbuffer armchair, and Nice, it turned out to be legendary. I noticed Codex randomly had a creativity inspiration and he's got 16 construction. So I decided to have him build an armchair out of that Thrumbo fur, as with the legendary modifier, this armchair is worth 4,500. This thing is the most comfortable thing anyone will ever sit on at a whopping 1.36 comfort. I think that level of comfort is a bit overkill though, because like we got Orange over here on this masterwork wooden dining chair and his comfort's maxed out at 100%. Like there's really no purpose to have that much comfort, unless maybe use a thermofor chair as like a dining chair, and when people are sitting down to eat just for a few minutes, they're gonna get a huge boost to their comfort level. Researchers definitely wouldn't need like a thermofor armchair though. So yeah, we're just gonna sell it. The 4,600 market value is just gonna increase our base wealth by too much. Codex only had around a 38% chance to make a legendary there. Krika, however, with his 20 crafting skill is gonna have a 60% chance to make a legendary. And so with the rest of the Thrumbofer, we're having him make a Thrumbofer dark robe. This thing costed 100 Thrumbofer and 350 unrefined magicite, but just a normal cloth robe has a base value of 2,500. So the fact that we're using Thrumbofer and the fact that it's going to be legendary potentially is going to up the value by quite an insane amount. And very nice, he got the 60% roll. The dark robe is legendary. Let's see the value on it, 5.5k. And holy cow, actually, this robe gives 130% armor, which is like more than power armor, and it's a robe. It also gives other nice stats, like a bit more energy regen, less ability cooldown, less energy costs, more arcane resist, but it does lower class XP gain by 25%. So there is a little bit of a trade-off there. It's not really that big of a deal though, because you're going to be spamming abilities more as they have less cooldown. This part is weird though. It raises the mental break threshold by 12%. I'm not really a fan of that part. I was thinking about selling it, but on second thought, I think we might just end up giving it to our monk Seal. Being that he's a monk, he has this ability ignore damage, and we're actually going to start ranking it up now. I thought it was pretty useless before, but with 2 levels in it, he gets 11 points of damage mitigation. That mitigation is lowered though for each kg of apparel weight. Now though, since his robe is only 2.5 kg versus the power armor he was wearing was like 16, and the shock trooper helmet's only 2.7, the pants are 0.5, and we should actually make him some better pants, by the way. But now he only has a carry weight of 5.8, and so he's going to be mitigating, what is that, 5 to 6 damage for now, and then 7 to 8 damage once we get it ranked up to level 3. Not only did Seal get some new clothes, he's about to get a new leg. We're installing this advanced bionic leg on him, and we're doing it on this royal bed because we get 105% surgery success chance factor. Being that this bed's really good, the room's clean, and it's fairly big. Floyd's only got 11 medical, but he is a priest, so he gets 25% extra surgery success chance, which brings him up to 115% surgery success chance. That being above 100%, plus the room being above 100%, and the medicine being around, I think, 94 with his 11 medical skill. I don't know if there's a 0% chance that he can botch this surgery, but I think the chance is really low. And voila, Seal now has an advanced bionic right leg, which works at 150% efficiency versus just a regular leg. He's going to move much quicker, and that's going to give him a bit more dodge as well, so he's going to be better at melee. Now for the operation on Smelly, and this is a pretty important one as he basically doesn't have a left arm right now. One of the major bones in his left arm is completely shattered, rendering it completely useless, and his manipulation was down to 50%. He was only working with one hand. So we're replacing basically no arm with an advanced bionic one, and that's going to be working at 150% as well. And yeah, the surgery was successful. I want to go over their stats, but I can't currently because we're actually getting raided. And by the way, we have a goods trader over here. The Northeast Omatithian sent us a bulk goods trader, and we're actually going to trade with them. I'm not sure if we should have MK drop an Eye of the Storm on these raiders because we might burn up a lot of these corpses. And holy cow, the lag is setting in. Something happened to Lusa. I guess he teleported in here. He's a paladin, and I think paladins have an ability where you can teleport and then it does AoE damage, which would make sense because yeah, Lamp, Rooks, and Ivy are all kind of low. I wonder if these guys will actually still trade with us though while they're in the middle of shooting at these guys. And holy cow, this is just so laggy. Frog's trying to desperately make it over to Jova to trade, and there we go, we made it. It's a bulk goods trader and they will buy bulk goods. And actually this is really good. We have a bunch of clothing that we've been getting. We've been getting it from raiders we've been killing, and it should be tainted, but when we raise the raiders it removes the tainted modifier. And so yeah, it's actually still worth a pretty good amount of money. They do only have 1k silver, but they also have a hauler 2 base station. Let's pick that up, why not? Another robot to help us haul around the base is pretty nice. And actually we just have a bunch of other random goods that we can sell them, and they're gonna give us all that 1,000 silver. They have some new troamine too, and what I'm wondering is if they are kind of cornered here, and if like these mufflos are gonna go down. If they do, then we can potentially steal their trade goods. I'm sorry to interrupt this PowerPoint presentation, but we're gonna have MK drop an an Eye of the Storm on these raiders that are coming in from the southeast. And I actually don't know if that's a good line. It looks like it's gonna at least connect with some of them. And oh yeah, it's connecting with a good amount of them. It's going right through a good chunk of them, and like this guy's actually knocked out. Meanwhile, over here, our main choke point, it is just an absolute mess. One of our undead rode this alpaca in, and it's done for. We're gonna have Llama drop a Fog of Torment, and it's gonna actually have a pretty good radius here. Wait, is it affecting people through the walls? I think it is. Oh yeah, it's affecting people even up here through the wall. That's a little bit OP maybe. The cooldown's not even that long either, so we can recast it again. We just have to choose one of these undead to eat. Oh, this guy's got 15 mining. Holy cow. I want to save that undead. Abidu's not that good. We'll eat her. And Llama just got a good amount of mana back. Some of these raiders are starting to go down, and I just got to keep an eye on which ones are actually good, because we could end up beaming some of them out of there. And okay, never mind. They're just going to run. Or some of them are running, some of them aren't, because they raided from two different sides. The ones we dropped an Eye of the Storm on, I think those guys are running, and then the other side is not running. I think they will end up dying to the Fog of Torment, so we're just going to try to beam out Pig. Pig's really good. She's got the Magically Gifted and Arcane Conduit combo, so we can turn her into a magic class, and she gets mana 40% faster. She just loses a little bit of maximum mana capacity. She's also too smart, so she learns 75% faster. She's got a minor passion for intellectual, which can be another researcher, and we do, believe it or not, have room for more researchers. We've got 6 research benches set up. We've been researching quite a lot of techs, and one research project we've been working on for quite some time is this SRTS expanded mod. We researched the super pod, which was a lot of tech, same with the skip, and the Albatross was a enormous amount of tech. But essentially what that allows us to do now is make this MK2 Albatross, which is a really solid all-around ship that took a lot of stuff to build. Like, it costs 9k silver and a bunch of internal components and stuff that mainly just costed a lot of regular components and a lot of steel. Some of it was gold too. But yeah, that's where most of our silver is going from that earlier trade mission. I guess we still do have 8k silver left over. We did get a lot of silver from selling off those slaves earlier. I don't actually know how this thing works, but I do know it requires chem fuel to run, and Fulton is actually loading it up for us. We've currently loaded it up with about 500 chem fuel. Apparently it also does have military uses as well. It's got 6 out of 16 bombs, and then it says accuracy normal, which I'm not sure if it has like turrets on it. I don't know how this thing's gonna work exactly, but we will be testing it out in the next episode. We've also been working on this massive monument for quite some time now. I don't even want to know how many slate blocks we've invested in this thing. I want to say like upwards of 5k, maybe more. Also, there is a trick. After laying down the blueprints, you can cancel specific buildings. Like, we could cancel this granite large steel, and say we had extra slate blocks, we could change it over to slate. There also is these sandstone grand steels that we just uninstalled from our ruins earlier. We have a mod that allows us to uninstall anything, by the way. People have been asking for my mod list in the comment section, and I want to go over it at the very end of the series when I know I have a stable mod list. I have had to disable a few mods because they conflict with other mods, and holy crap, this large steel is taking forever. We're gonna have Codex come over here, and he's gonna build it much quicker than that zombie could. The steel's almost done, and I'm actually kind of worried now. I think there's a bug with this quest. It wants me to place 2 tables down on these red table areas, but they're intersecting a wall. And yep, we placed the tables down, and now it says we need walls there. I think this quest is bugged. I don't think it's actually possible to finish it, because it says walls 170 out of 172 now, and we have everything else done. I'll try reinstalling the wall again, and yeah, you can see it needs us to build a table there. It now says table 1 by 2, only 1 out of 2. It looks like I'm gonna have to go into dev mode and complete the quest myself. If we click dev debug down here, and we scroll down to send defined signal ... If we do quest 24 monument marker monument completed, that completed the quest. Okay. I mean, we did complete the quest. It just was definitely, there was some kind of bug, and it's weird because I'm not seeing that anyone else had that bug. Maybe it's a new one. I would say it could have been a mod or something, but it just makes no sense because it literally just wanted us to place a table inside of a wall. Anyways, we completed the monument quest for 3 really solid helmets, a Masterwork Marine helmet, a good Prestige Recon helmet, and an excellent Prestige Catapract helmet. And so a lot more of our colonists are going to have really good helmets now. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. We will be taking off in the Albatross in the next episode. If you guys are liking this and you want to see the series finish, then drop a like on the video. With that, I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. All right, this fight is actually pretty easy. We just gotta stay in front of Piety when she does her whatchamacallit. Oh no, no, that's attack. Oh. No! No! Well, GG.